reads. I know that you guys needed Reiki. I know that you were all about it this evening, and I am so sorry that I missed you. I promise that I will get you. I promise I will get you several times next week. We'll make up for it. But I have several people on my list already. I'm going to be reading with these cards tonight. These are Eyes of the Soul. Like, spring is all about some abundance. I am going to apologize in advance for my hair. I don't know what it's doing this evening. I don't know what it's doing this evening. It's been rainy and nasty here, and this is what you get. This is what you get. These are also live on YouTube, so you guys can go back and watch them at any time. I already have about 7 people on my list. My list is only going to be open to get a ticket for a read for the next hour, just so you guys know. So after that, the tickets go off and I can't add any more, so I can go to bed. It's been a long day. I've been at the shop all day. I've been running around. Had to pick up my friend Camille from the airport. I pick up Mr. Santiago tomorrow. Mr. Mark is already in town and he'll be at the shop tomorrow. So it's going to be a busy, yeah, it's going to be a busy thing. Busy weekend, busy day. Be fun. All right. Miss Andrea Wilson is first on my list this evening. Thank you, Kaysen. How is Atlanta this evening? I guess it's almost morning, huh? It's almost tomorrow. All right. Miss Andrea. Wow, everybody is everywhere. Hello in New Mexico. I love me some New Mexico. All right. All right, Miss Andrea, you ready? Nope, we're not doing that many. That'll work. All right, Miss Andrea. So the first thing I was looking at is numbers. Nothing really stands out. It's kind of, there is a lot of threes, like 43, 31, 32. So there is a lot of threes, but yeah. So you had one card come out, 2 cards come together, and then 1 card. And this last card took me a little bit to get out, and we'll talk about why. So the first card is adapt to a new situation. As a Capricorn and someone that is all about some chaos, I'm all about adapting to a new situation all the fucking time, but some people are not, and I get it. Here's the thing with the spring that is really going to tump you completely upside down. There's something interesting that has popped up, not only with you, but with your path. When adapt to a new situation comes up with this deck, it can be a whole slew of different things, just so you know, a whole slew of different things. We'll talk about more in a minute, because this has a lot of moving parts. The other 2 cards that you had pop up is this one here, which is Become Your Own Sovereign. And the one underneath this is the Forgive card. It says, Lift the Curse. And then you have Become the Master Yourself. I want you to notice, first I want you to notice the duality. Okay? I want you to notice the duality. There has been something that's already popped up in your path. It's already popped up to the point that it's made you stop and pause and look at the whole of the situation, instead of it just being like, oh, that's new, you know, I'm no longer at this job, or I'm no longer friends with this person, or I have a new car, or I have a new house. You see what I'm saying? It's not just one little thing. It is a massive change, something that has caused you to take a step back and then look and go, this whole thing is different. Everything is different. Everything is different. And unfortunately, when that happens, when we have that massive shift and change and pivot like that, it's one of those times where you either adapt or you sink or swim. There's no in between. There's no floating. You sink or swim. And you're in that phase right now. You have to make the decision, do you sink or swim? And the thing is, the universe is not going to let you sink. Like, there is no other option but to swim, to go with it. The situation is doing this because you have to learn to be your own sovereign. You have to learn to be the queen, not the princess, not the handmaiden, none of that. You have to learn to be the queen of your own space. When we have such a change in our situation, that causes us to look at things differently, we have to start to realize very quickly that no one's coming to save us. No one is coming to save us. So when we realize that no one is coming to save us, it then becomes, all right, well, I'm going to save my fucking self. This is where a lot of people get hung up. This is where a lot of people get hung up. This right here is the difference between just dog paddling and working your ass off trying to get to the other side, or breaststroke speeding across there to get to the shore. Okay. But this right here is key. This is, I'm not focusing so much on the lift the curse as I am the forgive aspect. I'm not sure what it is that you're holding on to. And I don't even think this is with another person. I think that this is probably something you're holding on to with yourself, because the new situation and pulling out that sovereign aspect of you, I don't think that this right here is you having to forgive someone else. This instead is you forgiving something within you. A lot of times, it's not even so much that we hold our own self back as it's the fact that we hold a grudge against ourselves for not doing something or for actually doing something. I think that your issue is with you, okay? With becoming your own sovereign, as you adapt to this new situation and as you forgive yourself, then it becomes for you to become your own master, for you to become the master that you seek. That scared the shit out of me. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. So I may have eaten a lot of dinner. I did take some medicine. My sugar was going down earlier, so I had to eat a few dragon gummies. But Miss Andrea, for you to become your own master, you don't have to master the universe. You don't have to master everything. You don't even have to master one thing. What you do have to master is your walking your own path. When you realize that you becoming your own sovereign and you forgiving yourself for whatever that grudge was that you've been holding, you become the master of your own path. This is an amazingly abundant and powerful place to be. It's a tough place to be, but it's one that I feel that has been coming for a while. We have people that hold us back throughout a lot of our life, and we choose to let them hold us back. You are the one that holds the key to your own cage. You hold the key to your own cage. It's time for you to become your own master, Miss Andrea. But you're going to have to forgive you whatever that resentment is in there, you're going to have to forgive you first, just so you know. Spring isn't going to let you sit and be stuck in the exact same place. Just saying. So even if someone could attach something to your aura, it's really, really rude to spam the same question over and over and over. And the only reason that I am going to even acknowledge that question being spammed over and over and over is because if someone told you that, you need to block that person. Your auric field is your energy field. No one can attach something to that. And if someone told you that and they want you to pay them money to take it off, tell them to go do whatever you feel like you need to tell them to do. And it's really, really rude to spam questions. It's really rude to spam questions. If somebody were to attach something to you, I would highly, or you think someone has attached something to you, then I would highly recommend that you find someone that you actually trust, not someone randomly on TikTok, to answer that question for you. Because if there is something attached to you, chances are it didn't come from a person. It came from a place or somewhere that you just walked through and didn't even realize you had it. It takes a lot to remove those things, and someone needs to know exactly where you were, what happened, what's been going on, etc. It is an appointment that you need to pay someone, an expert, to speak to. Again, this is not something you just randomly learn on TikTok from somebody, and it is not something that people can just be like, whoa, I put it on your aura, kabam. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Just saying what I'm saying. All right. Miss Andrea, I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. Okay? The universe is not going to allow you to just sit back this spring. It's not. Okay? Miss Jennifer S., you are next. Yeah, it's been kind of an interesting day. I've had a really good day. It's just been long. I've been on my feet for a hot minute, at least 8 hours. I'm tired. I had to deal with somebody today who felt that it was okay to be extremely demanding of my time, of the people in my shop's time, and to belittle other people in my shop and me and everything else. And I took it personally. So sorry, that's going to go off for another minute till that goes down. I took it personally. And so I've been kind of fighting these feelings all day of, just saying, I've been fighting those feelings all day. So yeah, I take things personally. I'm going to sneeze. I take things personally, especially when I give so much of my time and I work so fucking much every day, and I overpack orders, to which everybody in my shop gets onto me for. I overdo things. I try to make sure that everybody has personal attention and that every order has my touch in it. And y'all have no idea how overwhelming it is. Y'all have no idea how overwhelming it is. There are days I'm at my shop from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I come home, I shove food in my face, and I'm on here at 8 or 9 o'clock until midnight. And then I get up and do it again. I literally do this like 7 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week. And so when someone is very, very demanding of my time, you will do this, you will do this, you will. No, ma'am, I will not. I have this many Capricorn placements. That many. I absolutely will not. I absolutely will not. And so I took all of that personally today. And so I want you guys to know how much I appreciate every one of you. Every single one of you. Because those of you guys that are so awesome and so supportive and so understanding, you guys are the ones that keep me doing what I'm doing, because at least a couple times a week, I'm like, why am I even doing this? Why am I taking this verbal abuse? Why am I taking this emotional abuse? Why are my employees taking this? Like, it is utterly fucking ridiculous. And yeah, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I also want to say this. If you are one of those people that is so unscrupulous as to order something from me, I'm only going to speak for me, especially if it's a sigil, especially if you give me all your information, if whatever. I just want you to think about that. If you are unscrupulous and you want to order something and then you want to turn around and file a claim and say that you didn't get it when I can prove that you did, or you want to come at my employees or me or whatever, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Just like the person that came into my shop today and pocketed stones and I caught you on camera. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I have a plethora of jars and herbs and stones. Oh, thank you for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I really do. I really, really do. So yeah. If you guys are still waiting on orders, I'm going to ask you, please, one more time, email us. I don't know what's going on. I have a ticket into Wix because I actually spent time the other day, Sass and I were on the phone trying to figure out if it was my bandwidth for my site, if it was our storage. I have unlimited storage, so it's not that. Our bandwidth is fine. But I see so many of you guys that send a message here lately and you're like, hey, I've sent messages and no one's answered me. And I'm like, I have 5 people that check messages. Like, there's no way. But then I go and y'all have sent 2 or 3 messages and it just shows up. If you don't get the autoresponder, like when you message, if you don't get the autoresponder, then chances are it isn't coming through. So if that's the case, please message on, just please give us one more chance. Just please message one more time. Okay. Because this has been pissing me off for months. It's been pissing me off for months. So please know that we're not ignoring you on purpose. Okay. Yeah. Please know that we're not ignoring you on purpose. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. If you get the autoresponder and still nothing, yeah, please message. Seriously, please. We are getting it's almost an overwhelming abundance, an overwhelming amount of messages lately. And know that, guys, I don't hardly ever answer TikTok messages. I get so many, y'all have no idea. But I will say this, like, I do have plenty of offers here on TikTok that if I ever decide to not be on TikTok anymore, there are so many guys out there who would like to offer me $7,000 a week to do nothing at all, just to speak to them. So I just want you to know that, I mean, I'm just saying. I can't with those scammers. I can't. Okay. Miss Jennifer, she's probably like, you have my cards in front of you and just say the cards. Just do the cards. Oh my Lord, I can goddamn not. Okay. All right. No. These cards are pissing me off because these 2 came out exactly the way that they were. And I was also angry when I was drawing these. So Miss Jennifer, I'm going to redraw for you. Okay. I'm going to redraw for you. I also haven't read with this deck in a while. I love it. It's a beautiful deck. But I have other decks, ma'am. I remember now why I don't really like to read with this deck, because it's too big for my hands and it's being a cunt. So this deck's probably going to go up for auction. I'm just saying. It's just going to go right back over there. It's just going to go right back over there. Apparently, that's not my deck. Apparently, it's not my deck. Thank you, KP. I appreciate that. It's so funny. When I got those decks into the shop, I was like, God, this is a gorgeous deck. I have to have this deck. And I took that one home, and that thing has just not been, it just doesn't like me. It just doesn't like me. Just saying. Just saying. All right. We ready? Miss Jennifer? Thanks, Sass. All right. Decks totally let you know that. They let you know. Yeah. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys are liking your packages. I'm so glad. All right. Miss Jennifer. So the first ones that came out, you had 2 cards together. The first one is forgiveness, and the next one is happiness. Now, here's the thing. Then you have truth. Then you have wisdom. Okay? When you hold a grudge against somebody, now this is speaking as a multi-layered Capricorn, so please take this for what it's worth, okay? When you hold a grudge against somebody, the only person that really hurts is you. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying the only person that bothers is you. A lot of times when we hold a grudge against somebody, and this is something that I have learned the long route over my life. I don't hold an actual grudge anymore. Instead, I just let it go. I don't forget, but I don't let it go. And by not forgetting doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, that motherfucker rocking back and forth in my chair. I'm going to put him in every jar I've got. Doesn't mean anything like that. Because I've learned this. When someone fucks you over, as I've mentioned repeatedly, there is going to be someone out there that is their karma. That is absolutely 100% their karma. You don't have to do shit to them. The other thing is this. A lot of times, you don't have to do anything and let them just think you did. Because a lot of times people will fuck their own self over and blame you for every little thing, and then they'll lob other negative shit at you when you didn't do anything. So guess what? It's going to go ping and hit them right in the forehead. So you don't even have to do anything to that person. Just let that shit go. Okay? Don't forget what they did, but let the shit go. You'll be so much happier, and you'll be so much happier when that thing goes the fuck off. You'll be so much happier knowing that you live rent-free in their fucking head. You don't have to do anything at all. Let them drive themselves nuts over it. Okay? Because here's the other thing. Whoever this is that you've got the grudge against, let it go. And when you let it go and you become so much happier, guess what's going to happen? All of that truth is going to come out. Those things that you think that they might have done to you, but you aren't 100% sure, they're going to tell on themselves. You know why? Because you live rent-free in that fucking penthouse up there in the top of their head. And as you're living rent-free in their fucking penthouse, they're going to be pissed to figure out ways to kick you out. So one of the only things that they can do is come clean or have it go roundabout by someone else. Oh yeah, well I did this. Okay. And you know what the best thing about this is just grin. Just grin. Because, Miss Jennifer, you already have all of the wisdom that comes along with knowing that you didn't do shit to them. You already have all of the wisdom of knowing that they're sitting over there pissed as fuck that you live rent-free in that penthouse. And they're sitting over there watching and waiting and just trying to see where they can get you back when you haven't done anything. While you're over here like this happy little dolphin hanging out with its friends, blowing bubbles, and just doing whatever the fuck you want to do while you live in the penthouse. The wisdom that comes from just letting go of that shit and living in their head rent free, girl. So your spring abundance, Miss Jennifer, is all about wisdom. Is all about wisdom and the amazing truth that comes from living in someone else's penthouse 100% rent free. I'm just saying what I'm saying. So your spring abundance is all about wisdom and silently being petty in their penthouse. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. And my sugar levels are fine. They're a little high because key lime pie is a thing. And the key lime pie at Charleston's is fucking fantastic. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right. Miss Teresa J. Y'all know it's true. Well, those of y'all that love key lime pie, you know it's true. Pie is beautiful. It really is. You know, as a kid, I hated key lime pie. I thought it smelled gross. I didn't like it. And now, holy fuck balls, it's the best fucking thing ever. And I was telling my friend Camille that I have like the best key lime pie I've ever had in my entire existence. I'm sure multiple past lives would agree with this, okay? I have a friend who his first wife used to make white chocolate key lime pie. I shit you not. It made every little intricate piece of being in my soul just, you know, all those movies and stuff where it's like, oh, and the light shines down, you have this epiphany. That was that pie. And now I don't know how to talk to her. So I can never have that pie again. So now my whole soul is sad. Anyway, Miss Teresa, are you ready? See, look, all of you guys want white chocolate key lime pie now, right? Right? It's a fucking thing. Ma'am, you shut up right now and tell me you did not say what I think you said. White chocolate key lime pie. It does exist. It does exist. It is the unicorn of key lime pie. And now that every one of you is Googling white chocolate key lime pie recipe, I'm going to require that you bring an homage to the shop. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. Okay, anyway. Sass, don't tell Sass. She'll get on to me. Don't tell Sass. I need to make that a shirt. I totally need to make that a shirt. And then every time you guys come to see me and knowing that Sass is at the shop, you need to wear the Don't Tell Sass shirt. I'm just saying. Okay. Fuck you. Shut up. Just let me die. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Teresa, I am going to read your cards. I promise. See, my sugar's high, so I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Hi, my name is Bodhi, and I've had too much sugar. Okay, Miss Teresa, you start off with love. Oh, we have feral Teresa, and then pleasure. But then you have patience, and you had wisdom. These two came out together like this. I know you're probably like, I have patience. You about to? So let's talk about this as far as the spring solstice. I'm not seeing Sass down there. La, la, la. And let's talk about what's in abundance for you. Okay. When I pull out the love card and then the pleasure. Okay, well, okay, it is what it is. I was going to say, when you pull out the love card, it's not always about romantic love. When you pull out the pleasure card, it's not always about that. But I mean, those two together kind of goes there. But anyway, I digress, and we're not going to address that. That is all your private life. But your whole spring solstice, equinox, excuse me, your whole spring, the abundance of what's going on with you is going to be love, pleasure, happiness, etc. This does not always necessarily mean something like romantic love or whatever. What it means is just love. Who the fuck said fireball apple pie? Y'all are blasphemous, and that is of the devil. Y'all are assholes. I just want you to know, because now I'm going to be Googling the recipe for that. We're not friends. Whoever said that, we're not friends. We're not friends. We're not friends. Y'all hear my thing going off? My sugar's already high. We're not friends. We're not friends. None of you. We're not friends. Take your fireball pie and go somewhere else. I don't like any of you. That sounds so fucking good. That sounds so fucking good. Okay. Teresa. I'm on Teresa. Not fireball apple pie. Miss Teresa, your spring is going to be all about love. Now, I know sometimes we're kind of like, I don't want to be very lovey. I don't want to be very lovey. I'm not going to do that. I mean, all my Capricorn placements, sometimes when I hear the word love, I go like that. It's hard to even say it. But spring is not going to let you go by without this. This doesn't always mean you're going to fall in love with the tall, dark stranger on a foggy street corner and blah, blah, blah. It's not how that works. Sometimes it's not you that needs to fall in love. Sometimes it's you that needs to give the love. The world is so hateful and mean right now that when people are genuinely nice, it surprises people. And that's really sad if you think about it. Miss Teresa, this spring, you are the one that is the abundance of love all around you. Those times when you're standing in places and you see someone, you've never talked to this person before, you probably will never see them again, and you feel like you need to do something nice for them or you need to show them love in some way or another, please do that. You doing this and you having this overabundance of love just for people around you is going to bring this amazing place in here that you've been striving for, that you've been waiting to see, that you've been waiting for. That right there is what's going to lead you to this patience. So it's almost like you having this abundance of love that you can give out is going to lead to this abundance of pleasure, which is going to lead to this abundance of patience. The one that I love that the love card is first. And I love that the wisdom card is last. So I want to say this, Miss Teresa, okay? Sometimes when we're going through that right there, that ear-piercing screech, sometimes when we're going through some of the toughest, hardest moments in our life, that is exactly when we need to be this. That's exactly when we need to be this. Because when we're going through the hardest times in our life, if we get hard just like those times are, we lose all of the joy in life. We lose all of our own patience. We lose ourselves. And this is what's wrong with so many people in the world right now. Everybody is struggling and everybody has something really, really hard and really tough going on. So they forget all of this other stuff. They forget themselves. They forget their own personal wisdom. They forget patience. They forget love. They forget all of those things. This is mainly for Teresa, but this is for all of you, okay? Including my hair that's doing whatever the fuck it's doing up there. When you're going through a time where it feels like your life is falling apart, when you go through a time that feels like it is the worst that it could possibly be, that's the exact time that you need to be as loving to other people as possible. And it's hard. It's so hard when the universe is just, it feels like the universe is just shitting all over you. It's so hard to be nice and it's so hard to love, because why should you? I promise you that you will learn so much more about yourself, about your path, about humanity, about the universe around you, about every single little thing by acting out of this when things are the toughest. Okay? I want you to keep that in mind, Miss Teresa. This spring is all about you gaining an immense amount of wisdom. An immense amount of wisdom. Okay? Miss Scarlet C. For those of you guys that are here on the TikTok, as I'm reading and as you see people coming in and out, and those of you guys that are seasoned followers, you already know what I'm going to ask you, don't you? You already know what I'm going to ask you. I know that I missed Reiki this evening. Please know that I was enjoying some of the most amazing blackened mahi-mahi, and I didn't even have to clean up after myself, okay? I just want you to know that. I needed dinner. I needed a good dinner, and that was utterly fantastic, and I have a fat little food belly tummy right now. Food baby tummy. But I appreciate all of you guys being here and doing my favorite part. And I know that during Reiki, that is something that I ask of you guys all the time. And those of you guys that are here all the time, and you know what my favorite part is, you know what I've learned and you know what I've watched, is I watch when I say my favorite part. And if I don't explain to the new people, to the new followers, what my favorite part is, I watch how many join in. They see what you're doing and they add to it. So every single time I say to do my favorite part, there are always people that I've never seen comment before that add something in there. So you guys are literally leading by example without realizing what you're doing. Not only are you leading by example, but you're making the world so much better. Because those people that decide to add one of those comments in there, that's going to change them. How has it changed you guys? How has it changed you guys just since you started watching me, whether it was a day ago or a year ago or holy shit, almost 3 years ago? How has it changed you guys? Are you nicer to people? Do you give them kinder advice? Do you maybe not flip people off as much in traffic now? Like, do you see what I'm saying? How has it changed you guys? And I'm so sorry, that's going to keep going off. All right, Miss Scarlett, ready? I love that. Sheila said, I've grown in love and wisdom since meeting you. I love you guys. I'm so glad, Mike. I'm glad I could help. Y'all, I'm just the signpost. I'm just the guidepost. I'm just there to point you in the right direction. All right, Miss Scarlett. You have courage, thriving, adventures, and leadership. That's a lot. And I want you to notice all the reds. I want you to notice all the reds, okay? Before I start with Miss Scarlett, I just want to say this. I appreciate all of the comments. I love you guys, okay? But I am just the signpost. I am just the guidepost. Everyone needs a guidepost. Sometimes we need multiple guideposts because some of us are stubborn. We don't listen. and we don't watch. So we need multiple guideposts. But when you find somebody that makes a difference in your path, they are your guideposts. That's exactly who and what they are. And here's why. No one can make you do anything. No one. You can't even really make yourself do things sometimes. No one can make you do anything. No one makes you angry. No one makes you sad. No one makes you happy. You choose to be happy with that person. You choose to be angry with that person. Now listen to me, because I know some of you guys are like, no. Just listen, okay? You choose to be upset. You choose to be jealous. You choose to be this. It's a response, okay? As you go along your path, as you learn emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as you learn all of these things, as you go through that really deep, intense shadow work, and as you grow as a person, you have guideposts that come in your path. Guideposts. And they may show you something in your path. They may just point you in the right direction. They may be that intense love that comes in, and then suddenly you are so jealous in ways you've never been jealous before. And then you break up and that's it. They were your guideposts to show you those shadow aspects of yourself that you still needed to work on. Do you see what I'm saying? I am just your guidepost. I am just a guidepost by saying, here are all of these amazing things. I may be a guidepost for, somebody for years and years. I may be a guidepost for 1 minute or less. They may pop through here. They may hear one thing I say, and that may set them on the path that they're supposed to be on. They may never come across my For You page again. Or I may never come across their For You page again. Because they don't need me for that long. They just simply need that one little thing. They may come across my For You page because you are their guidepost. They may come across my For You page and they may see your comment of, I'm proud of you. Please stay. You're worthy. They may see your comment and you are their guidepost in that one little 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds spot like that. I want you guys to think about that. We're all guideposts for everybody else. Okay? Now, Miss Carly. This first one is the fucking courage card. And I want you to notice all of the waves crashing on the rocks right there. That sky is an intense, really warm colors meets cool colors, everything crashing together. Spring is going to bring an interesting... I'm going to punch that thing right in his face. It's going to bring an interesting way of looking at your own self, your own life, not even so much your path, but you. Because I feel like you have been on an intense, rocky, crazy path. And now it's time to look at you, Scarlet. When you really hardcore look at you start to realize that there are a lot of ways, even in the absolute worst times, that there are aspects of you that are thriving. That there are aspects of you, there are aspects of your path, there are aspects of your life that are thriving. One of the things that people forget to do the most is to look at the things that are going good in their life. Even if it's just, I have a roof over my head. I have a roof over my head. I ate today. I have on clean underwear. Even if it's just something like that. To look at the good things, because once you start with those things like that, you start to see other things. Do you see what I'm saying? When you start to realize that there are areas of your life that you're thriving in the face of an intense amount of shit, where you have to have such a deep well of courage that maybe nobody else sees, you start to realize that there's a lot of you that is thriving. I will say, when the courage card comes up, especially as the very first card in a reading, it's a pretty intense spot to be in. It's a pretty intense aspect of looking at your life. When you hear the word courage and knowing that there's going to be a lot of courage coming forth in your life, most people think of courage as in pulling someone from a burning house or saving someone from this or having the courage to do this or this. You don't look at it as having the courage to literally just walk the earth every day. You don't look at it as having the courage to go through certain medical treatments that make you so much more sick than you ever thought you could be in your life. You don't think about the courage to go talk to people on a daily basis at your job, in customer service, whatever. If any of y'all have ever worked in retail or customer service, you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. That is the worst war zone ever. Okay, but I digress. People don't look at courage as things you do on a daily basis. When you start to look at that, you see a lot of areas where you're thriving in. Now, what I really love and what the world may not be ready for is that then you have the adventure card. You have the adventures card. Scarlet on adventures. I don't know if I'm just saying. Adventures come in many, many forms. Adventures come in many, many forms. They can come in the forms of delving down a whole new aspect of your own life and practice. They can come in the forms of suddenly traveling across the world. They can come in the form of delving down a new path that you never ever knew existed. Adventures come in so many forms. You are not wrong. Traffic is the biggest adventure and takes the most courage. I don't care where you live. I love everybody's like, oh, traffic's the worst here. Traffic's the worst here. Y'all, people drive like shit everywhere. I travel all over the fucking US. Everyone drives like shit. Everyone. I will hands down give it to LA. That is by far LA, and then Dallas. That is by far. I'm good if I never have to drive there again. And I'm good if I never hear that fucking thing again. I just replaced this the other day and I'm ready to rip it out of my fucking arm. But Miss Scarlet, I just want you to know that this last one is not, like, don't shoot the messenger. Because this right here is the leadership card. This is the leadership card. All of this courage, all of these areas where you're going to find that you're thriving in. And me, honey. Then all of the adventures are going to put you in a spot where you're going to realize that there is something you need to take a little bit of leadership with. Thank you, Miss Nicole. There is something that you're going to have to take an interesting leadership role with. Know that that's coming. The universe is not going to let you get out of it. Apparently, it's something that has been swirling around you for a little bit. And maybe you've been kind of plugging your ears and, you know, la, 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 I can't hear you. That's not the case anymore. But the way that this is, the universe is going to make sure you have every single thing in place. Just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. I mean, literally, guys, everywhere is traffic as shit. I love you right back, Miss Scarlet Poo. There are days. Now, I will say after driving in some really, really big cities, when I come back to Tulsa and I hear people hear bitch, I'm like, okay. But at the same time, people in Tulsa amaze me on a daily fucking basis at the stupidity they pull on the road. So, I mean, I feel like my grandma all the time. You whippersnappers. Anyway, Miss Sarah, please save me from myself and continuing to talk like my grandma didn't really talk like that, so I don't know why I pulled that out of my face. All right. You attended a few lives and now you say just say what I'm saying. I'm sorry? Question mark. All right, ready? All right. Here we go, Miss Sarah. You start off with flow, and then wonders, then love, and then, girl, I shit you not, the power card. Miss Sarah. Apparently, winter was very interesting for you. And not only did you learn to be stuck in place and you learned to be frozen in the ice, but you also learned that when things melt, it's time to fucking go. I have a feeling that the last couple of weeks, especially for you, has been go, go, go nonstop to where you've turned around and you've been like, holy shit, it's been 5 days. What the fuck just happened? Where did the last week go? But you are just along for the ride. I don't think for 1 second that life is like this nice, gentle moonlight flow along the river. I think it's probably more like this, like the crazy, insane rapids, and you just holding on for dear life and hoping that you don't fall out of the fucking raft. But the thing is, when you're on that crazy ride like this, the wonders that you tend to see when you're in the rapids, the wonders that you tend to see with the way that the universe flows around you and with the way that things come into contact with each other that you've never ever seen before, connecting all the amazing dots everywhere. The universe is not only bringing all of these wonders in and showing you where all these things have been on your path, but it's going to put you in a really, really interesting place, Miss Sarah. When you start to see how everything in the world is interconnected, it gives you a whole new appreciation for your own space in that interconnectivity. My stomach agreed. I just want you to know my stomach agreed. When you get that whole new appreciation for interconnectivity, motherfucker, you start to operate from a whole different place of self-love. There's going to be a lot of people in your life, Miss Sarah, that are not going to like the self-love aspect of you, and they are absolutely not going to like the power aspect of Sarah. But the universe is bringing a lot of wonders your way and a lot of amazing self-love your way. When I say that people aren't going to like self-love, they don't. Because people get to the point where they would rather you be down here than know how fucking amazing you are. They would rather you feel like shit on a daily basis than you know how fucking amazing you are, how strong you are, how courageous you are, how brave you are for dealing with their dumb asses, for whatever it is. They would rather you feel like shit than have your own self-empowerment. And it's sad. It's really sad. Because they're the same people that are going to tell you, oh, are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing for you lately? Look here, bitch. I'm walking away from you. That's going to put you in an intense place of power, Miss Sarah. You are going to lose people out of your life this spring because they are not a part of this path. They are not a part of Sarah being the best Sarah that she needs to be on a daily fucking basis and going boop, 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 boop. They are not meant to be on that path because they're down here and you're going to be up here. So as this amazing self-empowerment grows, as all of this connectivity grows, and as this personal power grows, just know when you start to really, really walk your own path, it gets more and more and more refined as to who your actual friends are. You can have a fuck ton of acquaintances, but who your actual friends are, who is actually in that circle, gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So, Miss Sarah, just know that this intense personal power is headed your way, and know that this complete and utter massive boost to your self-esteem and your self-love is going to slough off the people that don't need to be in your path and in your life anymore. Okay? Miss Kathy Mazzell, you ready? Oh, Jack, I wish you the best. I wish you the best, sweetheart. Google is a thing. Enjoy it. Thank you guys for all the new follows. I appreciate it. Look at Sass quick on the mute button. All right. You know, I don't mind trolls. I really don't. But like, come at me with your A game, man. If I got to give you a F in trolling, like, you need to find another thing to do. All right, Miss Kathy. Can't make that shit up. You start off with trust, courage, simplicity, and I shit you not, the abundance card for spring abundance read. Like, you can't make that shit up. Okay. Boop. Boop. And I saw you down there, Sass. It's the sound effects tonight for me. You just shush your face. You just shush your face. Just shush. Anyway. Just same. All right. And may the old gods bless you, Jason. Thank you for that. So, Miss Kathy, guess what? Spring is going to bring an abundance of fucking truth. This always has its good and its bad. Oh, my God. That thing right there. We're about to fight right in its face. Or right in my arm. I don't know. Right in its face. Would it have a face? Anyway, I digress. Miss Kathy, abundances of truth are always an interesting monster. They're like a fucking sea urchin. There's only one little spot on the bottom that's kind of good, and even that bitch might bite you. But what's amazing about a sea urchin is this. All of those spiky points like that are meant for protection. Truth sometimes is protection, and we don't even realize it. Because when we learn the truth about a certain situation, or multiple situations, we might look around and be like, you know what? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck the horse you rode in on, and fuck you too. So now the sea urchin little truth bombs have gone to push everybody way the fuck away from us. And we turn around and we're like, wow, how did all of that happen and everybody just get removed from the situation? A, they didn't need to be in that situation anymore. You didn't need to be in that situation anymore, especially if you've been lied to for so long. Or, and here's the thing, guys, omitting the truth is still technically a lie. Just going to leave that right there. When you have an overabundance of truth come in, it's great. in that you get to the bottom of a lot of situations. It's great in that you see things really clearly, sometimes for the first time. It's great in that it helps clear things off your path. It sucks, however, in that you're hearing things for the first time, and it sucks in that it's clearing things and people out of your path, and it sucks in that you have to see things for what they really are. I will say this. It also brings up an intense amount of courage, because when you learn the complete truth about the situation, even if it's just one little thing, to face that situation knowing all of the truth, to face that situation knowing everybody's truth in it, to face that situation knowing that you know all the things, brings an intense amount of simplicity. A super intense amount of simplicity. When you know the truth about things, it suddenly allows you to set really hardcore boundaries. Even though simplifying means letting go, boundaries means letting go, simplifying everything in your life after all of the truth shit comes out, it also brings this. Because when you simplify shit and all of the bullshit goes away, the abundance that you're left with is suddenly amazing. It's just like when you're a parent and you don't have a break for a long time, the first night you get to yourself, you have all these grandiose plans. And then you're like, you know what? I literally just want to go to the fucking grocery store by myself and then plant my happy ass on the couch and watch TV until I pass out drooling on my own self. And it's fantastic, right? And then the second day, you're like, this is great. I got the house clean. I washed the car. I did all of this and this and this and this. But then that second night, you're kind of missing your kids. And then that next day, you're really missing your kids. You see what I'm saying? You don't know what you're missing until you don't have it anymore. But I will say with this shit, with simplicity, you find an abundance of amazing shit that you didn't realize you were missing because it was covered up with shit. Y'all ever cleaned out your closet and then been like, oh my God, I wondered where that shirt was, my favorite shirt. It's exactly what's fixing to happen, Kathy. All the closets getting cleaned out so you can find all the good shit that's been buried underneath there for too long. Ready? I'm just saying what I'm saying. Hope that helps, Miss Kathy. All right, Brendan, you ready? I'm refreshing my list for, oh my God. I literally just found my I Hate People shirt after 2 years in the closet. Man, I'm fixing to move after having lived in this house for 2 years. There is no telling the shit that I am going to find in my closet. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. All right, so here is the rest of my list. I have Brandon, Miss Melanie, Kylee, Tiffany, Michelle. I'm just going to say A because I know I'm going to myrtleize your name and I'm not trying to, but I'm going to. Even though my brain goes, this is how you say it, my mouth goes, no ma'am. Miguel, Barb, Catherine, and then Miss Nicole. If you guys didn't get on my list tonight, you know damn well I'm going to be doing some shit this weekend. You know it. By the way, did you know that I have this friend? Her name's Camille. She reads tarot the way that I read Oracle, but probably with less F words. We're working on that. I'll get her there. I'll get her there. But anyway, I digress. If you guys need like a full in-depth reading, my schedule doesn't allow me to do them. However, I have this fantastic friend who may or may not have been this mystical woman in New Orleans for like ever, and who may or may not read at like one of my favorite shops in New Orleans. She may be at my shop this weekend, and she may have appointments. If you guys would like one, I know a girl who knows a girl who knows a girl who knows a parakeet who knows a dog who knows Camille. I'm just saying what I'm saying. But if you guys would like to book an appointment, she still has a couple spots left. I'm just saying. You're welcome for that. You know, every fucking one of you giggled. You know you love me. You ready, Brandon? Brandon, save me from myself. My sugar's high, and it's like I'm drunk. So save me from myself. At least I'm a happy drunk, right? Camille is one of the only people that I let read for me. That ought to say something right there. Mainly because Camille's so sweet about it, and also she just has to kind of give me the look. She doesn't Bodie me, so. But I'm just saying, yeah. You guys need a full personal in-depth read. She just might happen to be at my shop this weekend. Just see what I'm saying. How do you book through the parakeet? If you message my site, actually you can go on the site and book through the parakeet. The parakeet's agent is on there. I think that the dog oversees the agent sometimes, but the parakeet's agent is on there. So then you can totally book through there. I told you I know a girl who knows a girl. Like, I got you. Ready, Brendan? I like that this whole thing is just taking on a whole unique, crazy subject of its own. By the way, I did also, in driving to dinner, see that my local hardware shop down the street has all kinds of plants out. So I'm feeling the need to go adopt a new plant for spring for the shop. So tomorrow when we're at the shop and we're doing the little live thingies, I have a couple of plants. I also may have already bought a couple of plants this week. I bought 4. But that's beside the point. But they need names and backstories, and so we're gonna have to do that. And I think I need to find some of the "Hi, my name is" tags for things. So yeah, I love you guys. I love that you're like, yes, go buy more plants. Let me live vicariously through you. Okay, all right. Here we go, Brandon. You guys are really running with this parakeet. I love you guys. This is why we're friends. This is why we're friends. All right. I mean, I think I'm going to have to have some help naming them. By the way, I have some very sad news, Brandon. I'm sorry to have to pull this before you read. I lost Hank. I lost Hank. So I'm sad. I lost Hank. It just may have been his time. So, you know, those 7-year high school seniors, they take a toll. It takes a toll on their heart. And so, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what happened to Hank. I moved him in, you know, when it started to get cold. He did great until we went on that 3-week trip. And I came back. I think Hank died of a broken heart, to be honest. I think that I was gone for too long and Hank died from a broken heart. And so, yeah, so I will be on the lookout for another fang plant. And I need to give Hank a decent burial. So, yeah, I think Hank died of a broken heart while I was gone. So, yeah. So, yeah. Made me sad. Anyway, we'll have to give Hank a good plant funeral. Yeah. All right. You ready? Or maybe Eleanor's ex Ned finally did Hank in and I just wasn't here to save him this time. I mean, it could have been that too. Just saying. Maybe that needs to be a whole new Bodhi series. But anyway, I digress. Brandon's like, bitch, you've had my cards drawn for a hot minute, and I would appreciate if you would shut up about your fucking plant and read my cards. Not really. I think if Brandon ever said anything like that, like I'd be. Anyway, Brandon. Okay. The courage card is in high demand this evening. But you start off with courage. Then you have the gateway. Then you have purification. And then you have the pleasure card. And I want you to notice the gateway there. Do you notice that? Just saying what I'm saying. So, your courage card is just a little bit different because of this gateway card right next to it. What this tells me, Brandon, is there has been an interesting shift in your path. And I have a feeling that A, this is confirmation, and B, you already know about this. I don't think you've been ignoring it, seeing all of this. Okay. I don't think you've been ignoring it. But what I think this is with this shift in your path, it's like the universe has presented you with like a fork in the road, right? You can go left or you can go right. But you've been standing at the fork because you aren't quite sure. Neither path feels right because they're not right. The left path isn't the one you need to take, and the right path isn't the one you need to take. There is a gateway right up the middle. Sometimes you have to forge your own path. One of my favorite Robert Frost poems talks about the road less traveled. If you guys haven't ever read that poem, highly recommend it. It'll touch you a little bit deeply, okay? Just saying. But that's exactly where this gateway leads, Brandon. It is going to take some courage and a really big machete to chop away all the shit that's in front of the gateway, which is what this is. There's a lot of things in your path that has to be purified. And this is strictly a spiritual progress issue. And let me kind of explain this a little bit. When we hit this, it's not a plateau. It's like this interesting, weird, hard stop. When we hit that hard stop, it's almost like everything we had been doing stops working. We're not as connected to our divination tools anymore. We don't want to read books anymore. It's like all of our protection things seem to be old hat. They don't work anymore. It's almost like being in college and only having crayons to write with, and broken crayons at that. So you just don't want to use them. So you're just like, well, fuck it. I'm not going to write with anything because I don't want to use the fucking broken yellow crayon. No one can see the yellow crayon on the white paper anyway. So I'm just not going to do it. So that was a weird sound that just came out of my face. I'm fine. So we get to the point where we just kind of are like, you know what? I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'm just going to do the bare minimum and go on about whatever. But the thing is, it's when we hit this hard stop that we really have to look around and see what kind of clutter is in front of the door. See what kind of clutter is laying all around us. A lot of times, I swear to fuck, a lot of times, there's so much clutter that we had brought in that at the time we needed. But now it's time to give that clutter, put it out where other people can find it. Does that make sense? There's a reason that every few months I'll go through stuff in my shop, in my house, like things that I have set aside. Like, oh God, I need this stone. I already have 15 of them, but I need this one. Or I'll go through books or whatever. They're no longer mine. I don't need them anymore. Maybe I didn't ever get to fully read that book, but guess what? I didn't need to. I guess I didn't need to. So we go through a purification with all of that clutter. That's what really allows us to see the gateway. That gateway goes to a path that not very many people take. That gateway goes to a section that no one else really sees because they just take the left fork or the right fork. you're going to go through a really intense purification aspect to be able to see that path. But on the other side of that is this. While this is the pleasure card, I really want you to look at the gateway and I want you to look at the path there. This is not a path like you ever thought you were going to be on. It is not a path like you ever expected to unfold in front of you. And it's not a path like anybody else around you has been on or probably will be on. But you do have to go through this first. It's also a lot of healing involved. A lot of healing involved. That's a lot of green. Analyzing where you want to go is also going to be key. And if you guys have never paid attention to when I say that sometimes knowing what you don't want is the most powerful place to be, that's exactly where this is. And looking at this new path, Brandon, it's going to show you, hey, you got to be analytical and you got to look at things going forward. So look at the things that you know 100% you don't want, whether it's on your spiritual path, in life, whatever. What is it that you do not, absolutely 100%, no ma'am, I don't want this? Because it's going to open up a realm of possibilities of the things that you didn't know you wanted. That's where this is. Does that make sense? And people that have been around you for a long, long time are not going to understand. Although I think that's probably something that you're already cool with anyway. All right, Miss Melanie. You are so welcome, love. Enjoy the sleeps. I'm going to get through these last ones, and then I'm going to do the sleepy sleep as well, because it's going to be a long day tomorrow and Saturday. I'm so glad to see several of you guys here this evening. I know that several of y'all were having a really, really hard week and a really hard time. And so I appreciate you guys just coming to hang out just one more time. You are so welcome, Nana. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you like it. All right, Miss Melanie. Okay. Melanie's been a very good girl. Congratulations, Ludacris. I'm so excited for you. You know what my dream job would be? Not to be diabetic anymore, because it's fucking stupid. Congratulations. Seriously, congratulations. All right, you ready? Let's just say that Miss Melanie's is pretty damn self-explanatory, and she has been a very, very good girl this winter. Are you ready? Abundance, freedom, blessings, and the pleasure card. Like, what? Apparently you gave up a fuck ton of shit this winter, and probably all over the last year since last spring. You had so much shit that the universe was like, guess what? You don't need that anymore either. Or that, or that, or that, or that, or that, or that. And it just cleared out so much shit. I want you guys to remember that things have to be cleared out before something else can be put in. You cannot put shit into a full bucket. And sometimes the universe doesn't do it in a really, really nice way. Like, oh, let me just take this one thing so I can put one thing back in. No, ma'am. The universe is like, let me kick the bucket over. And not only am I going to take all of this shit, but man, it's going to leak everything out. Everything. Then when you set the bucket back up, there's only like a tad, a little tiny bit of water left in it. There's only a little bit. Apparently, that was the year you had last year, was clearing all of the things out. I would bet more than once, you didn't see that yawn. I would bet more than once, you probably looked around and was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I'm just saying. The one thing that leaves the door open for is literally abundance. It's literally abundance. It also leaves the door open for an immense amount of freedom, because when you have all of this bullshit removed, and a lot of times we don't realize how much bullshit is there until we look around after all of that stuff has been cleared out and we're like, huh, I didn't actually need any of that. I didn't need to continue being in that position or going here or doing this or helping this person or being with, I didn't need to really do any of that. It gives you this intense, amazing, just freedom, which in turn makes you look at the things that are left as huge blessings. I hate that you had to have all of this stuff cleared out in this way, Miss Melanie, but at the same time, when I look at all of these and I see this pleasure card at the end, abundance, freedom, blessings, and pleasure. Like, yes, please. That sounds like a great fucking spring. Yes, please. I hate that this means you lost so much over the fall and the winter. I hate that the universe kicked the bucket over and let everything run out. And I hate that there were so many really intense, hardcore lessons that you had to learn over that time. I hope that as these things start to pile up and roll in and you look around on a moment-to-moment basis and go, holy shit, my life is fucking fantastic. My life is fantastic. I hope that as this happens, you realize that all of the things that had to get removed were things that were holding you back. And I know some of you guys, because I love it when I say things like this and somebody's like, oh, you know, I lost so-and-so, they passed away, they were holding me back. It's not what I mean, and you know it. Loss is part of life. So before I see any of those trolly comments, stop it. However, with anything else, having things removed, I love that. It was all trash anyway. Having things removed leaves the possibilities wide open in front of you. And again, it shows you what you don't want in life. Why this thing is still high, there is no fucking way it's still high. It's killing me at this point. I'm ready to rip this thing out of my arm. But anyway, I digress. Miss Melanie, this couldn't be a better set of cards for spring if I went through and picked them out. This is absolutely the epitome of you can't make this shit up. Girl, spring is yours. Spring is yours. It's all about abundance. It's all about everything being amazing. It's all about all of the good things coming back in. And to be honest, I might be a little jealous. I might be a little jealous of this. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Honey, spring is going to be fantastic for you. You are winning. All the winning this spring. Okay? Like I said, kind of couldn't have picked any better cards if I had gone through and been like, and this one, and this one, and this one. I'm happy to see you too, Dove. Ooh, okay. I'm glad. I'm sorry you had such a shit fall and winter, my friend. And I'm sorry that my hands are like, guess what? You can't shuffle cards. Gotta love it. All right, Miss Kylee, you ready? I knew that was 2 cards. God, I'm awake. Oh, the courage card again. Okay. Miss Kylee, you actually start off with security. With security. What I love about this, what I love hate about this is when I see that this right here is the first card that just came up in your read and my nose is itching, somebody's talking about me, stop it. It tells me that this is something you've been manifesting for a while. People underestimate the power of security until you don't have it. Security isn't just, oh, having someone to guard over you or whatever. Security is knowing that you make enough money to live. Security is knowing that you have people around you that love you and that you trust. Security is feeling safe on a moment-to-moment basis and not being worried about every little bit of your own survival. And I know that a lot of people have been in that spot for a while. So when I see the security card as the first one out of the gate for the spring reading for you, this is something you've been manifesting for a very, very long time. And I'm so, so glad, Miss Kylee, that this is coming to fruition this spring. What's interesting about it is when this is coming to fruition in abundance, it's going to make for a very interesting spring and summer for you because the next 2 cards you had came out together. And this is thriving and then adventures and then courage. So I don't know what you're planning, Miss Kylee, but I'm just saying, like, if you go volcano surfing, like I happen to know a certain blue-haired girl that would be down to go with you. But I digress. Thriving in adventures. When you thrive, when you feel secure, and you feel like the world and everything around you is golden, is this rays of sunshine, everything is beautiful and bright, then you are able to go and have these adventures you've been wanting to have. Adventures doesn't always mean that, you know, you're taking off on the other side of the world, volcano surfing. Just saying. Sorry, I think I'm funny. But anyway, it doesn't always mean these grand adventures somewhere. It can mean adventuring into places, into things, into pathways, into all of these amazing aspects of life that you either didn't have access to or didn't know they were there because you were too worried about security. So when security is a thing, when security is like, hey, guess what? Here I am. Now you can do what you want. That's literally where you are. I don't feel like this courage card right here means that this is going to bring something in you have to be courageous for. I have a feeling what this is going to show you. And this is something that you can say to somebody and it doesn't mean as much until they experience it for themselves. And that is seeing how fucking courageous you actually are. It's just like, I'm going to explain it this way. When somebody comes into my shop and let's say that they are really, really drawn to, let's say they immediately go for this stone right here. They're going to come and ask me, well, not really because I have it up on the thing, but they're going to ask me, well, what is Kambaba Jasper for? Do you know what I say? Google it. Do you know why I say that? I know what Kambaba Jasper's for. I fucking love Kambaba Jasper. I have a problem. I have like 5 palm stones. I have a problem. I know exactly what Kambaba Jasper's for. But you know what? Do you know why I say it? Because if I sit and tell you, oh my God, you lived through all that. How courageous are you? How many people have told you that already? Oh man, you lost your mom, you lost your dad, you lost this, you lost this. Man, you were really courageous to walk through that. How many people have said that? Okay, thanks. But you know what? When you have to walk through it and when you have that epiphany moment, no one can tell you that epiphany moment. It's just like if you come in and you buy this piece of Kambaba Jasper and you say, what's it for? If I say, oh, it's for calm and content and happiness in the calmest situation. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's exactly what I need it for. But if you go home and you Google this and you see all of the amazing things that Kambaba Jasper is for, even though the main thing is for, you know, calm and stuff like that. When you see all of the things Kambaba Jasper is for and you read it with your own eyes and you experience it, you go, oh my God, that's exactly why I needed that. It hits so much different. People can explain things to you, but until you experience it, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So when I am sitting here talking to you, Miss Kylee, about you having, after this security comes in and after these adventures and this thriving and so on, and you looking back and going, oh my God, I walked through all of this. I can tell you this all day long. And you can go, oh, thanks, 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 thanks. But until this epiphany hits and you experience this, it's not going to mean the same. Doesn't matter who were to tell you this. If it was me, if it was Taylor Swift, it was Brad Pitt, if it was some bum on the street corner, it doesn't matter. When you find this epiphany of how courageous things actually were when you didn't have this security, how courageous you actually were when you were losing all of these things over and over, when you find that on your own, and I have a feeling that's going to pop out this spring in a really, it's going to be one of those like amazing mountaintop moment kind of things. I think, Miss Kylee, even though all of this is great, this right here, that epiphany is what you've been missing for so long. And it's coming, whether you like it or not. You get an epiphany and you get an epiphany. That makes sense, love? Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right, Miss Tiffany. Thank you for staying up so late. Yeah, it is getting a little late, isn't it? It is getting a little late. Ready, Miss Tiffany? Lots of interesting colors. I'm gonna tell you these and then I'm gonna show you because goodness, girl, you could have watched this on YouTube tomorrow. I feel so bad keeping you up late. All right, so you have Flow, Then you have healing chaos. Then you have potential. And I want you to notice the darkness of all those cards, right? Then you have potential. And then at the very end, you have this. Like, look how out of place that looks. Let's talk about this. You know, a while ago when I talked about the rapids, that sometimes the going with the flow is not just that beautiful, lazy river. Yours right now is that lazy river, because sometimes we get so used to it being the rapids that when it's the lazy river, we're like, look, universe, like, this is boring now. Like, my ADHD self, I need the rapids. Like, where's the rapids? And we get bored with having to just lazily go with the flow. I want you to know that the spring is going to be lazily going with the flow. It's going to be slow. It's going to be slow moving, and it's going to be an anticipation building season because of this. There's a lot of chaos in and around your path that has to get, and just needs to clear out. It needs to clear out. I think that there's probably been an immense amount of healing that's been done. There's been immense amount, words are not my friend. Been an immense amount, blah, 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 a crazy amount of things that have been broken and repaired. And I know sometimes people are like, well, if it's broken and repaired, like, that's not really healing. It is. I never can remember the name of it, but I know you guys are all going to know what I'm talking about. The wonderful, I mean, it's just an amazing Japanese art form where something is broken, where pottery is broken and then put back together with gold. It's glorious. It's absolutely beautiful. And it shows exactly what happens when things are cleared out and broken and then put back together. That is healing at its finest form, because healing is never, you're made completely and utterly whole all over again. That's never the case. When you go through damage of any kind, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, any of that, you're never going to be put back together the way you were. It wouldn't be growth if you did. You're never going to go back 100% the way you were. Every single day that you are alive, every single moment that you breathe, you're doing damage. You're changing, you're growing. Even if you don't feel it, even if you don't think it is. I mean, I want you to just think about just your skin on a physical level. Your skin is your biggest organ. Your skin changes itself, regenerates itself every 7 days. It is continually sloughing, whatever word you want to use, off dead skin. It's continually regenerating itself. Never, ever, ever at any moment will your skin be 100% the same as it was the moment before. That's how life is. It's how healing is. It's how growth is. So with you in particular, this flowing river is just this wonderful, lazy little, let's go down the moonlight path. And, but you're not used to this. So this is uncomfortable because it's healing all of this shit. The reason I mentioned that this is going to be an anticipation month and summer is going to be that takeoff for you is because of this. This is the potential card. When the potential card shows up, especially in this deck, this is one that doesn't show up very often at all. It just doesn't. We need that buildup. We need that lazy river. We need that yawn behind the card. We need all of that chaos to be put back together slowly in that anticipation. I'm going to encourage you to do something, Miss Tiffany. I want you to get just a blank book or a blank notebook. and just randomly write things that you've learned. Just here and there. Doesn't have to be on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be anything big and specific. Even if it's just little. I learned that I really hate this brand of popcorn. I learned that the guy that lives down the street can't drive for shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, just stuff like that, okay? Just little weird random shit like that. Okay? In those little bitty tiny things, you're going to start to see a pattern, and you're going to start to see where all of this potential is. I don't think that the universe would be kind enough to give you the epiphany of, oh, guess what? This is what I'm building you up for. But you're going to start to see a pattern of what's shifting and changing in your life. I promise. Okay? Even if it's just the guy down the street's a dick, you know. Trust me. The love card, that one's interesting. And that one right there, I don't do this very often, but I'm actually simply going to just table it. I'm just going to leave it right here, because with that potential card, me holding up the love card for you means something specific to you in general. That's not, I don't think it's for everybody else to hear. So at the end of spring, you can come back to this live because it's on YouTube and look at this particular point and see what this is right here. Oh, Sandar, I'm so happy that you came in again. I love it. You came in last night and bumped me up in the For You page. It just makes me feel so special. It makes me feel so special and so loved. I love it. But like I said, Miss Tiffany, I'm going to table this card for just a little bit, because I don't feel like this is self-love, and I don't feel like this is self-love, and I don't feel like it's something specific that comes with romantic love either. Love comes in a lot of different forms, but I think this one in particular goes along with this potential, and I think that it is something that right before the summer solstice, this card is going to hit a lot differently than it does right now. In fact, I don't think I've ever done this in a reading. Not here, not on live. I have a couple of times a long time ago, but I don't ever table a card. But I love that this is on YouTube, and so you can come back to it. I have a feeling that you're in for a very intense, amazing, weird, interesting spring. And it's going to be like one of those twisty tangle puzzle things. And when you get back to the beginning, you're going to look back over all the twists and turns, and I think it's going to blow your own mind. You better. This is definitely a, you better let me know what this is. Okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right, Miss Michelle, are you ready? You are so welcome, sweetheart. You are so welcome. Michelle throwing cards. Yeah, my list is closed for this evening, guys. I only have a few more people left on my list. sciatic nerve is absolutely killing me right now. Y'all have never had a sciatic nerve act up, like, especially if you've been on your feet all day. It's like someone has frogged you in the side of the butt cheek. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. Ready, Michelle? Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking feeling. Yeah, it's weird. It's a ridiculous feeling. I don't know what that's about, but we're not going to do that. All right. Ready? Honey, I don't know what that was, so we just cut that. We just got rid of that. Yeah, your sciatic nerve is not fun. It is not fun. This is just weird though. Like when it just starts hurting, it's like this weird ache. So I'm sitting here under my desk holding my legs straight up in the air because I'm like, man, I feel like I got frogged in the side of the butt hip right there. I don't know what that's really called. I mean, I guess technically it's your hip. It's not really your butt on the side of your butt, but your butt hip. Your hip butt? Maybe it would be your hip butt. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I feel like somebody went like, bam, you like frog the shit out. You know how people used to frog each other? Like, Whoever came up with that particular form of torture in grade school, I hope that wherever you are getting frogged repeatedly. You know that was a big brother that did that. You know that was a big brother that came up with that. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right, anyway. I know, we're all really showing our age. Anyway, I digress. Let me shut up and let me read for Miss Michelle because we're going down some weird. Now, I am a master at wet towel pops. I have, that is a hidden talent. It's bad. I can make that bitch crack like a fucking taser. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's bad. All right, anyway, now we're all really, we're gonna blame that on Christine because she brought up the wet towels. Anyway, Michelle, save us, Michelle. Shit. All right, Miss Michelle, you have adventures, success, flexibility, and then taking risks. And I want you to notice that this is like beautiful greens, then some reds. Beautiful greens, lots of reds. Did you notice that? Did you notice? Just saying what I'm saying. All right. What's funny is normally I read like this, but with you, this is 4 separate things. This is 4 separate things this spring. While they all kind of coincide together, one doesn't depend on the other, okay? This adventures card right here. This spring is going to bring you several different ways of you having a unique, weird, interesting adventure. And when I say unique and weird, it doesn't mean like somebody's going, you know, my words are not working. It doesn't mean like you're going to win the lottery and go to Mars or win the lottery and buy an island. It doesn't mean anything like that. Sometimes the adventures that pop up are where you had to take a U-turn or a turn over here, whatever. You find yourself in some weird random place and suddenly find like the best Mexican restaurant ever, or just things like that. Spring is going to bring you a whole bunch of weird, unique, interesting adventures that are going to put you in places that you never thought you'd ever be. Sometimes we end up in places. I keep coming back to food because I have realized recently that I'm a foodie, and I've ended up in some weird places and been like, I should not be in this side of town, but yet here I am, and this is probably the best place I've ever eaten in my whole life. That's what I'm talking about. Things like that. You end up in a restaurant, you end up in some store, you end up somewhere on a side of town you've never ever been in before, and you find out that you are in the right place at the right time, and you meet somebody, experience something that changes your whole life. This right here, though, this is the damn success card, my friend, for spring. This is the damn success card. The damn success card. If you have never researched what Mother Jaguar is, especially when it pertains to South American practices, I'm going to say that is your homework with this reading. This is a really, really intense spirit. It is part of the Wheel of Life. It's also part of... It's a very feminine thing, a very powerful feminine placement. That's your homework. Because that right there has to do with this success. This raw power, this divine feminine has to do with all of this success. Okay? So you didn't even know you were getting homework, did you? I can't with the Dr. Love Bomb, Spell, Magie, Gob, whatever, Boogie Boogie Pants. I can't with them. I had to block that one. I had to block that one. Yeah, I'm just going to hold that up one more time. Because as I mentioned a while ago, it's going to hit a little different when you see what the Jaguar stands for, what Mother Jaguar stands for, and where she sits on the Wheel of Life. That's for all of you. If all of you have never looked up the Wheel of Life, especially when it pertains to the animals that coincide with each direction, north, south, east, and west, there's your homework. There's your homework. Yes, Boogie Boogie Pants. You're welcome for that, Brandon. You're going to be using that tomorrow in a sentence. You watch. It's going to come out of your face, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? And then you're going to start laughing. I just want you to know you're welcome. You're welcome. The flexibility card. Be ready to be flexible this spring in these weird little bitty tiny ways that at the time would be something that you would absolutely put your foot down, and in the moment you go, you know what? Okay. Be ready for flexibility to happen randomly at... You know those times when you go home to, when you were a kid, and you were like, well, I'll ask my mom if you can spend the night. She's probably going to say no. Like, you go and you know your mom's going to say no. You know she's going to say no. But then all of a sudden she's like, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. And it kind of surprises you because you knew she was going to say no. That's what flexibility I'm talking about right here. There's going to be a lot this spring where there's going to be things that were always no or always yes, and suddenly they're not. Just that one moment, that particular, like that, bam. Your spring is going to be interesting as shit. This is a lot going on. Because this last card is the taking risks card. I feel like there's something interesting career-wise here with this in general. I don't know if you've been thinking about either starting something up business-wise, if you've been doing something, considering rolling it around in the old Michelle Noggin, excuse me. Oh, and I say Melanie. I was on Melanie the other day too. I kept saying Melanie. Maybe there's a Melanie needs to be in my life. I don't know. The taking risk cards, especially with all of this, it could just be an interesting opportunity. I love that. Michelle, congratulations. Congratulations. This taking risks, just know that this is something interesting career-wise. It's something interesting as far as money goes, security goes, etc. And it may come in the form of you applied for this job and they offer you this job over here, same pay, great job, etc. But this is not something you ever expected. Be ready to take the risks this spring. This is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of different intricate pieces working in the clock at the same time. But I think that this is probably going to be one of the best springs that you've ever experienced, my friend. And seriously, congratulations. I've been through a couple divorces. I understand completely how that feels. So congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. So yeah, this spring is going to be amazing, wonderful, and intense for you, and probably one of the best springs of your life, okay? Just want you to know. So I have Antoine left, Miguel, Barb, Catherine, and Miss Nicole. So here's what I'm going to do, because it's midnight and my brain is doing the downward spiral. The Jaguar has been in your dreams. Have you looked it up already? I love that you were like, the Jaguar has already been in my dreams. Because if you haven't looked it up, I can't wait. I can't wait. Sometimes I wish I could be a fly on the wall when you guys are, yeah. So, well, here's what I was going to say. If you guys would like, for those of you those of you that are still here, you hear Bodhiisms while you study. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Would you guys like for me to read for you tomorrow when I'm at the shop, or would you like for me to just send you your moolah back? You tell me. It's up to you. I got you. I just know I felt my brain go like that. Thank you, Christine. It'll be tomorrow afternoon. I've got to pick up a friend of mine at the airport at 11:30, so I'll be at the shop around 1, so probably 2 or 3. So yeah. Oh, well, happy early birthday. Okay, well, we'll do that then. Let me check everybody off but you guys, so that way I know who else I got to get. So let's see. Jennifer. Miss Catherine. Come on, man. Even my computer's like, look, bitch. Miguel, Nicole. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. I got y'all. All right. All right, guys. Well, let me do this up here. Thank you guys over there for watching on the YouTubes.